Hi Whovians, and welcome to my video review of Doctor Who The End of Time. As the title of the video suggests, I will be reviewing Doctor Who's 2009 two-part special The End of Time, which was David Tennant's final episode as playing the 10th Doctor in Doctor Who. If you really love this two-part special and consider it one of your favourite Doctor Who episodes of all time, and David Tennant is your favourite Doctor, then I'd suggest you don't watch this video, as this video is going to be a very negative review. Unless you can handle a very negative review, then carry on watching and listening. I'm just going to get to the nits and grits of things and say the two-part special for me was a very disappointing one in many places. Russell T Davies lacks coinciding with the classic series. The whole thing about the Master hearing the drums was never in the classic series, so I don't know why Russell suddenly brought up that storyline, when clearly the storyline never existed in the classic series. So you weren't thinking straight, were you, Russell? Or did you deliberately thought that it was okay to do whatever you want without anything having to correspond with the classic series? This is one of the reasons why I prefer the classic series of Doctor Who over the reboot era of Doctor Who. The classic series is the original series, thus the best. But that's not the only reason. It's much less flawed as well. Secondly, throughout the whole two-parter, the Doctor gets all upset and starts crying a lot about the prophecy of his death and that someone will knock 4 times. I mean, bitch, please. The previous 9 Doctors faced death with some dignity. Even the 11th Doctor did in The Impossible Astronaut. The 10th Doctor, however, is the complete opposite. He cries, moans, and blames Wilfred Mott for being stuck in that glass box, and then eventually gives in by saying it'd be an honour for him to let Wilfred out. Yet there's contradiction. A few seconds ago, he said he'd just leave him there. Can't make up your mind whether to leave him in there or get him out. Stop crying and moaning, please. One can argue that they prefer a much more humanized and emotional Doctor. But isn't the Doctor an alien? Yes, he's a humanoid, but he's also an alien. And so it'd work if he acted like an alien. Seriously, not everyone has to act all human. You've got companions and other characters for that in Doctor Who. You don't need the Doctor to also act very human. Seriously, what is the point in being an alien if you're going to act really human? Besides, we've got Peter Cushing's Doctor Who for that. Now I'd just like to point out that he played the human scientist Doctor Who, not the Doctor in Doctor Who. Anyways, Russell had the audacity to even make him say the line, "I don't want to go," which was the 10th Doctor's last line as a Doctor. This line is an insult to the brave hero we once knew of the Doctor, and it sounded like as if it's actually coming from David Tennant and Russell T Davies than it is coming from the 10th Doctor. The Doctor would have no or little fear of regeneration. Just look at the 5th Doctor, for example, sacrificing his incarnation to save Perry from death. The only times when the 10th Doctor is really decent, not seen as a crybaby, is when Stephen Moffat is writing the episode. Yes, I'm one of those people who were glad Stephen Moffat took over as head writer and showrunner. Moreover, when the 10th Doctor falls off the ship in the second part of the special and breaks the roof's glass, landing in front of the Time Lords and the Master, he still gets up without the regeneration process happening. Yet in the classic series, in the Fourth Doctor's last serial, Logopolis, the Fourth Doctor fell off the telescope's dish, and the fall from up there to the ground was a shorter distance, and he had to regenerate for it. So I'm wondering whether Russell forgot or wasn't aware of this, or just simply didn't care about this, because he thinks because he's showrunner, he can do whatever he wants to do, much like Stephen Moffat, but at least Stephen Moffat didn't create a crybaby Doctor or a humanized Doctor. I love the 11th Doctor, by the way. He's just so alien and eccentric and just so weird and so funny, but he can also play really sad or serious. But these moments are done subtly, and subtly is good, so you don't have to be known as a crybaby as well. We've already got the 10th Doctor for that. We don't need another incarnation to be the same. At least the 11th Doctor can control his emotions. Unless you're Carla Jex. The only emotion that was seen quite explicitly, apart from happiness, is anger within the 11th Doctor. And it was so well acted, much like how David Tennant plays angry. But whenever David Tennant plays crybaby, it's literally crybaby. Furthermore, why did it take so long for the 10th Doctor to finally regenerate? It took him like 10 to 15 minutes, or so it seems, to finally get the regeneration done. Visiting all the reboot era companions whilst holding it all back. But aren't regenerations supposed to happen quickly? I don't know, but holding it back for so long seemed unrealistic to me. I'm going to state this flaw again because this one annoyed me the most. His whining and crying made him look like a wuss. I'm sorry, but the other Doctors face death with dignity, and that's how I always will picture him. The brave hero. Don't understand why 10 has to be the odd one out. He's too human and over-emotional to me. The whole thing with his death was over-emotional for almost everyone, and this is one of the reasons that led to many hating on Matt Smith/the 11th Doctor. Because they sympathized and loved the 10th Doctor so much, they wanted to hate Matt, and that hate is still lingering today, unfortunately. The sad truth, I know, if you're a Matt Smith fan like me. However, there were a few parts that I did like. I liked how Rassilon, wonderfully played by Timothy Dalton, narrated the whole thing. It's quite refreshing having a narration, as we don't have that much in Doctor Who. Timothy Dalton was great as Rassilon. John Sim as the Master, however, didn't really play the Master I envisioned in the classic series. Now I am up for originality, but then again, nothing is original if you're not the original incarnation of a Time Lord. John Sim plays the Master as a very crazy, mental man, especially in The End of Time, instead of playing him pure sinister and evil. I liked him more in the series 3 finale episodes than in The End of Time, but I guess each to their own opinion. His Master is very popular. But the biggest problem I found with what Russell T Davies did to the Master in The End of Time was the fact that he gave the Master superpowers. What? Now I am a massive Marvel, DC Comics, superhero films fan. But Doctor Who is a TV show of its own and doesn't include and doesn't need superheroes or supervillains. Russell, you ruined the Master by giving him these stupid powers. By the way, my favourite Master is Anthony Ainley. Well, at the moment anyway, considering I haven't seen Roger Delgado, Jeffrey Beavers and Peter Pratt yet. On a lighter note, however, I do love Wilfred Mott and love Donna Noble, and I'm glad they played a part in this two-part special. And if they were in this two-part special, then I'd have called this episode the worst episode in Doctor Who, at least for the reboot era. But then again, The End of Time is pretty much on the same-ish wavelength to the Series 2 finale. I hated the Series 2 finale, except the fact that Rose died. And what I also liked about The End of Time is that Matt Smith made a little appearance at the end. Hooray, his first few lines were brilliant. Conclusively, this two-part special was a very disappointing one for me. Only had a good few moments and funny one-liners. But overall, the flaws just pile up and overshadow the good bits. And it was a very long two-part special to me as well. So if I had to rate it, I'd say 3 out of 10. Feel free to disagree with me, I know most will, but this is just my opinion. So please respect me for that as I respect you for your opinion. And that's it for my review on The End of Time. Thank you for watching and listening to this review, and I'll be making more video reviews in the future. Bye for now.